Grumpy Old Geeks, a weekly talk show hosted by Brian Schulmeister and Jason DeFilippo, discussing the finer points of what went wrong on the internet and who's to blame.
Welcome to Grumpy Old Geeks. I'm Jason DeFilippo.
And I'm Brian Schulmeister. Jason, we spent weeks upon weeks talking about this, and it's been out of the news for so long, I completely forgot it was even happening.
We're buying Greenland?
Oh, no, that's already gone. We're done with that, right?
Okay.
Who knows?
Just checking. Got excited.
Trying to take over the continental United States right now.
Oh, you're going to be the 51st state?
Nope. No. We're not going to do that. No.
Okay.
No, particularly not after we shamed Trump at G7. So.
Okay. Just checking.
It was good times anyways. Mm-hmm. No. This is the TikTok ban. That was going to happen.
Oh my God, TikTok.
Remember that? Cast back your mind, Jason.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to consult the archives. It's been a while.
It was a big deal. We were going to ban it because why not? Kind of. But then we weren't. And then we were going to sell it to a U.S. company and then China said, we're not fucking divesting. Fuck you. And then we were going to ban it again. And now we're not again because we're not. So,
okay.
President Donald Trump will once again give TikTok a temporary reprieve as it faces another deadline to sell itself or face a ban in the United States, which at this point, they've all just got to be laughing at TikTok. They're like, you're not going to do it. TikTaco.
Yeah,
TikTaco. So the White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed Tuesday that Trump will sign yet another executive order to extend the deadline. This latest extension, this time for 90 days, a rare thing not being Trump's normal 2 weeks.
Yes.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. It'll be huge in 2 weeks.
Yes, this is now the third time that Trump has punted the looming TikTok ban since he took office in January. This is never going to happen.
It's all that time with Elon. It's got him into he's just pushing deadlines now. That's it. That's the one takeaway that Elon imparted unto our great leader is to push some deadlines.
Yeah, push everything away. Say 2 weeks and just never do it. It's like the opposite of Scotty in Star Trek.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's what we've got going on here. Speaking of Elon Musk and Twitter, remember we talked about the 560-pound Twitter sign that was purchased, and we weren't quite sure who bought it. It was auctioned off for $34,000 a couple weeks back, or actually sometime earlier this year. I don't even remember. Time has no meaning anymore.
Time becomes a loop.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. Well, now we know who bought it and what became of the sign. It was blown up in the Nevada desert, of course, as part of an elaborate stunt to promote an online marketplace app.
Called Ditch It. Yeah. Ditch It Good.
They should have. Yeah, they should. You would have spent your money better having Devo write you a song.
I don't think they could have gotten 3 bars for $34,000 of Whip It. Sorry.
No. It's a startup hoping to compete with services like Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp. It was a chance to win and then blow up a piece of social media history as a unique opportunity for shitty PR. In a video posted to YouTube, Ditch It attempts to draw some parallels between Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter and its own startup ambitions. Elon Musk rebranded Twitter to X to support free expression, the video says. We're doing the same for local marketplaces.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But in an attempt to make some money, probably not from their core business, they will be selling fragments of the sign it retrieved from the explosion and will list them on its app in a sealed bid auction beginning today. Look, you too can have a piece of crap.
Current bid 0.00. I'm not joking. That's on the site right now.
That makes sense to me. And then the article wraps up with, in some ways, Larry, as the blue Twitter bird was known to former employees, met an end that mirrors the death of the social media platform it once represented. An explosive, expensive spectacle that leaves you wondering what exactly was the point of it all.
They really should have blown up, gotten a fail whale and done that, because that would have been more exciting.
That would have made so much more sense, yes.
Yeah, and also, why did they rent the Cybertrucks? I didn't quite get that.
Oh, because they're kissing Elon's ass.
I don't get it. And if you watch the video, they're like, look, there are going to be no fees ever for listing or buying or so. I'm like, well, then where are you going to make money off of this thing that you're saying? Yeah. You haven't studied your history of the internet very much, have you there, buddy?
Actually, they have. They entirely understand the point of not having a business plan, because what other company does?
That's true. If they can afford the $34,000 to buy a thing that they're going to blow up, then I guess that they figured it all out. They know more than everybody else.
Obviously,
so, yeah.
Obviously. And I was just scrolling about at some point this week, and I saw something, and it reminded me that you used to do the rabbit, rabbit, rabbit thing, right? At the beginning of every month.
It's just rabbit, rabbit. There's no three of them.
Just two rabbits. Oh, rabbit, no wonder my luck has been shit.
Exactly. You've been 2 steps forward, or 2 steps backwards, 1 step forward. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I got a new one for you. This Saturday, tomorrow, is the longest day of the year and thus the summer solstice. Just as we were getting used to these sunny nights, the days are going to start getting shorter, but you can do something here, Jason. According to Icelandic folk tradition, rolling in the dew on the morning of the solstice is a cure for illness and will bring clear skin.
Not in my yard. I got dogs, man. I'm not rolling in the dew. I'd be rolling in the poo.
Dog poo, dog poo.
In the news,
well, hot off the heels of the Tesla video that we talked about 2 months ago, where the guy did the Wile E. Coyote test, and Tesla did not do very well compared to other self-driving vehicles, mainly because of the reasons we know. They don't use LiDAR, they're just using cameras, blah, blah, blah. There's been yet another test of Tesla. A revealing demonstration with Tesla's full self-driving mode is raising concerns about whether fully autonomous cars are ready to hit the streets. Considering they ran over 8 kids, I would be concerned.
Yeah.
The tests were conducted by the Dawn Project, along with Tesla Takedown and Resist Austin. Slightly, I think that they had a result in mind. But they got it anyways, and showed Tesla's full self-driving software repeating the same mistake 8 times, with anticipation building up for an eventual Cybercab rollout on June 22nd. The company's CEO posted some additional details on X. According to Elon Musk, Tesla is being super paranoid about safety, so that date could shift. 2 weeks, Jason. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah. Anyways, they did do this test. The Tesla Model Y ran through a school bus's flashing lights and stop signs and hit child-sized mannequins 8 times in a row. 8 times.
9 times.
They should have just done it 9 times.
Exactly. Yes. So just so you could use the clip. Mm-hmm. Seriously. Well, it might not be an issue for much longer because I don't know how many Teslas are going to be on the road. I don't know if you've noticed. You probably don't see this around you, but any free parking area is now being filled up with Teslas because they can't sell them. They keep making them, but they can't sell them.
Yeah, that's what happens when you dabble in the politic.
There's a couple stories about malls in New Jersey and Minnesota or Michigan. What are those M states? That's a lot of Teslas. That's what they're saying. People are upset because I was like, you're not permitted to park there, buddy. And what are they going to do? Tow them? They'd be like, thanks for storing them in the impound. It'll save us some money. And they're going to be shutting down Model Y and Cyberduck production the week of July the 4th. Happy America Day.
Happy America
Day. And Brian, I mentioned this before, but I don't know if I mentioned it on the show. Mm-hmm. Now, I want you, anytime, and this goes for everybody that's listening to the show, anytime you see a Cybertruck in the wild, I want you to look in the windshield and see, just out of curiosity, if the driver is wearing a baseball hat. Could be any hat, doesn't have to be a MAGA hat or any crap like that. Just see if they're wearing a baseball hat, because my scientific research around town is I see a 99.9% hit rate that everybody that drives a Cybertruck wears a baseball hat. And I can't quite figure that out. Why?
Is it ever a non-white male?
Yes. Sometimes it is a white female.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They don't wear the baseball hats, though. So if it's a female, they get a pass on the baseball hat. But if it is said white male driving Cybertruck, just check to see if they're wearing a baseball hat.
My guess is they're balding.
Yeah, probably. I am. That's why I wear a hat. Fuck it. I don't have Kevin Smith money to have my makeup artist follow me around all the time.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. But he wears a baseball hat, too. So
that's true.
Yeah. Those movies aren't doing as well as they used to, so he's got to resort back to the hat.
Well, in a surprise twist, 23andMe founder and former CEO Anne, and I can't remember, we haven't talked about her for so long that the need to pronounce her last name portion of my brain disconnected its neurons.
Okay, it's Wojcicki. Yeah.
Is set to regain control of the DNA company's assets, according to a press release from 23andMe.
Okay.
If you remember, in May, a company called Regeneron bought 23andMe for $256 million in a bankruptcy auction, but Wojcicki's nonprofit TAM Research Institute. Some would argue that 23andMe was the nonprofit.
Yeah, that's true. But I think you have to. You said TAM, but I think it's TAM.
I'll do it Netflix style. TAM.
Yeah, exactly.
So the TAM Research Institute was able to reopen bidding with an unsolicited offer of $305 million, the Wall Street Journal reports. The bankruptcy judge agreed to reopen bidding on 23andMe under the condition that Regeneron top the offer by at least $10 million, and they declined politely.
Okay, they're like, you got it, girl.
Yeah.
You go, girl.
It's not completely clear what she intends to do next with the company, but 23andMe's announcements include a list of customer data and privacy protections. Ta-dam! Research Institute will probably ignore, but they're agreeing to for now,
yes.
Including continuing to allow customers to delete their data and opt out of research, establishing a consumer privacy advocacy board, and promising to not sell or transfer genetic data in the event of another bankruptcy unless the buyer agrees to the same privacy protections.
I have a theory. Mm-hmm. I think Anne and Tatam bought 23andMe back just so nobody could look at the books, because I bet that $305 million is from her compensation package when she was CEO. Mm-hmm. So she's like, I don't really need anybody doing an audit. So let's just buy it back. I don't care about the data or things like that. Let's just sweep this one under the rug. What do you say, guys? Please?
Could be right there.
Also, she probably came into a bunch of money after her sister's death. That's just a wild-eyed theory there. But, her sister, who famously ran YouTube for a very long time, probably had a bit of cash laying around. Yeah. Yeah, I still feel bad for them. I've done interviews with her mom before, who is just a firecracker. She's amazing, but I've never met Anne. But yeah, anyway, moving on to some more interesting news. Well, I'm not going to say if it's interesting or not.
Is any of this really interesting these days?
Who was it on Discord that said we should have an AI section? And you're like, everything's an AI section.
Every segment has a story about AI, because AI is forcing its fucking D's nuts into everything.
And people are going to go, well, not at the library. I'm like, contraire, mon frere. I got a good one this week. Well, OpenAI and Microsoft might be, they're having a tiff, Brian.
Well, it's the early stages of the relationship.
Yeah, well.
They're figuring out, what do you mean you like to eat at 6 o'clock? I'm a 7:30 person.
I want that side of the bed, damn it. Let's see here. Microsoft has to sign off on this cockamamie plan OpenAI has to turn into a for-profit corporation.
Yep.
And Microsoft is going, I don't know if that's good for us. That's just going to be, more competition, even though they're kind of in competition right now when you think about Copilot and all the other things that they go back and forth. Mm-hmm. And then OpenAI wants to buy another company. I think it's called Windsurf. And what the deal says right now is that Microsoft has access to all of the technology that OpenAI has. Period. Mm-hmm. They can open the kimono whenever they see fit.
That's what you get for those billions of dollars. Yes,
exactly, and all those discounts for Azure. So they're kind of unhappy about that now, and they don't want Microsoft to get the tech from Windsurf, which one could say that they're kind of entitled to it since they've funded OpenAI with huge chunks of money that everybody went, why are you giving them that much money? They're like, well, we own everything. I see. Okay, continue. Yeah. Well, now OpenAI is threatening a lawsuit against their BFF over antitrust violations. Just to kind of strong arm them.
Just poke that bear.
Exactly. What all Microsoft has to do is nothing. Absolutely nothing. You know why?
Why?
Because if Microsoft does nothing, then the funding for OpenAI fails. The new SoftBank funding fails. They probably won't have enough money to keep the lights on. That will basically throw OpenAI into a tailspin, into bankruptcy probably. Microsoft already owns the IP because they are partners with all the money they gave them. So they just pick up the pieces when it's over with, hire all the people they want to hire, and tell Sam Altman, I was going to say Sam Bankman-Fried for a second, to go fuck himself.
So we're kind of back to about a year ago.
Yeah, kind of. So I'm really curious what Satya is going to do here.
Yeah.
And now, and the thing about Satya right now is I am so sick of his shit. I mean, I liked him before AI. I thought he kicked ass at Microsoft. He really he did a really good job of turning that place into what it could have been, you know? It really turned it around. And I don't know if you saw like some of the latest shit about him. He's like, I use AI for everything. He's like, you know, he says it's the Frank's Red Hot of his life. He's like, I put that shit on everything, man.
Yeah, well, everybody does. We've noticed, world. We've noticed. Yeah,
but then you turn around and there's him being quoted in the India Times. I found an article. He's like, has AI started helping the economy grow faster? He says, no, AI has not yet caused faster economic growth or big productivity jumps.
Nope.
Yeah, he basically admitted that there's no use case for this thing yet. There's no giant business use case. And if you look at the money that they're projecting that they have to make to keep the lights on, well, it doesn't. The math ain't mathin' anywhere across the spectrum. Period.
Right.
Now there's another article that came out this week that Musk is burning about $1 billion a month on XAI.
I thought you were going to say on ketamine.
Oh, that too. Did you see he put out his quote unquote drug report yesterday?
What a fucking dipshit. And then he's like, everybody at the New York Times should have to do it now too.
Yeah. Well, the New York Times it's like, you know, that's not what we said in the article. We said when you were on the campaign trail, mister. Well, I mean, I'm not a fan of the New York Times by any stretch right now, but they have a point with that one.
They do.
But the funny thing about that, the posting his test results is he put the last 4 of his social up there too. Good OPSEC, Elon. Really fucking good OPSEC. You're worried about your plane? How about you stop posting your own shit, you moron?
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the task at hand. Do the math. Just do the math. And then we have here's the one that started this whole thing. Andy Jassy came out this week saying, as we roll out more generative AI and agents, which don't fucking exist, it should change the way our work is done. We will need fewer people doing some of the jobs that are being done today and more people doing other types of jobs. It's hard to know exactly where this nets out over time, but in the next few years, we expect that this will reduce our total corporate workforce as we get efficiency gains from using AI extensively across the company. Show your fucking work, Andy. You're just making shit up. This is more marketing and bullshit scare tactics.
It's the Kool-Aid that everybody's a drinking.
It's also hiding in the fog of AI war his ability to cut headcount willy-nilly under the banner of AI. You know, because everybody's looking for ways to fire everybody. And Elon gave him... He gave them the golden ticket when he walked into X, or then Twitter, and said, fuck off to everybody.
And look, the thing is still running.
Yeah, sort of. Hey, I don't know if you heard, but you're going to be able to trade stocks on X coming soon.
Sure.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks.
2 weeks. When you see these articles, just think for 2 seconds if all of this is bullshit. I think you probably will come to the conclusion on your own that it's bullshit.
I agree.
This episode is brought to you by Delete Me. Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. You ever Google yourself and get creeped out by what shows up? Your old address, phone number, maybe even the name of that cousin you don't talk to anymore? Just sitting there, waiting for some rando with a grudge or an axe to grind. Yeah, that's not just uncomfortable, that's dangerous. As someone who's been online since the 90s and built a career in tech, privacy isn't just a preference, it's a survival strategy. And with the way data brokers operate now, your info is sold and resold like some sketchy baseball card nobody asked for. That's where Delete Me comes in. They remove your personal information from hundreds of data broker websites, so it's a lot harder for trolls, scammers, and the just plain nosy to dig up your dirt. Whether you're trying to avoid doxing, keep your family off the digital grid, or just want to reduce your exposure, Delete Me helps you actually protect yourself in a world that profits from your details. So here's the deal. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me, now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/GOG and use promo code GOG at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/GOG and make sure you enter the promo code GOG at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/GOG, code GOG. Protect your data and be less findable. Trust me, you'll sleep better.
Craving your next action-packed adventure? Audible delivers thrills of every kind on your command, like Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, where a lone astronaut must save humanity from extinction, narrated with stunning intensity by Ray Porter. From electrifying suspense and daring quest to spine-tingling horror and romance in far-off realms, unleash your adventurous side with gripping titles that'll keep you guessing. Discover exclusive Audible originals, hotly anticipated new releases, and must-listen bestsellers that hook you from the first minute. Because Audible knows there's no greater thrill than the one that speaks to you. Discover what lies beyond the edge of your seat. Start your free 30-day trial at audible.com/WonderyUS. That's audible.com/WonderyUS.
And some more AI news. Earlier this month, Wikipedia announced plans to test AI summaries for about 10% of mobile web visitors. To say that that idea wasn't well received by the editors would be an understatement. The Wikimedia Foundation then changed plans and canceled the tests. AI summaries would have appeared at the top of articles for 10% of mobile users. Readers would have had to opt in to be able to see them, and they only appeared on a set of articles for a 2-week trial period. But editor comments in the WMF's announcements ranged from yuck to grinning with horror. One editor wrote, "Just because Google has rolled out its AI summaries doesn't mean we need to one-up them. I sincerely beg you not to test this on mobile or anywhere else. This would do immediate and irreversible harm to our readers and to our reputation as a decently trustworthy and serious source." Which I agree with.
Yes.
Wikipedia has in some ways become a byword for sober boringness, which is excellent, the editor continued. Let's not insult our readers' intelligence and join the stampede to roll out flashy AI summaries. Hear, hear, Wikipedia.
Bravo! Woo!
Yes.
You can't fuck with Wikipedia right now. That is the last bastion of common sense.
Yeah, it is. And, it has me casting back my mind and going, like, when Wikipedia first launched, none of us took it seriously. We're like, where'd you get that fucking info? From Wikipedia, for God's sake? Go get an encyclopedia. Yep. What are you doing?
Now it's everything. It's the most trusted resource on the planet.
It's unbelievable.
Yep. We were wrong. We were wrong. One thing we weren't wrong about, though.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a new article I saw. Your brain on ChatGPT. Mm-hmm. Accumulation of cognitive debt when using an AI assistant for essay writing tasks, which is something that I think I said immediately when people started using ChatGPT. I think in the first week. Here's the summary. While LLMs offer immediate convenience, our findings highlight potential cognitive costs. Over 4 months, LLM users consistently underperformed at neural, linguistic, and behavioral levels. These results raise concerns about the long-term educational implications of LLM reliance and underscore the need for deeper inquiry into AI's role in learning. I could tell you right now, keep it out of schools.
Yeah, no, I agree. Keep it out of schools. And I want this studied more. I want to, find out how true this really is. This is an early study, and we've heard this about technology all the time. I mean, we were, when cell phones came in, all of a sudden nobody remembered phone numbers anymore, and our memories are going. And I cast my mind back to the way back in time, when Mongo picked up a bone for the first time and used it to smash the head in on a beast for dinner. And then, the learned doctors back there went, our arm strength is now decreasing across the board. What are we to do? It's human nature. We do always replace what we do physically and with technologies. It is what happens. These things are never going away. We need to find the balance. That's all I'm saying. And it would also be fucking helpful if the goddamn technology worked, which it fucking doesn't. So
there, you see, there's half the problem right there.
Yeah.
But this isn't a singular technology that we're trying to replace. Like, yeah, okay, great about the phone numbers. I still remember 4 phone numbers that I need to remember in case of arrest. Those are the 4 that I remember. Now, in maps, maps are another thing. It's one of the things that nobody knows how to read a map anymore. I still have paper maps in my car because I'm a lunatic. But this is different than that, I think. This is different than one singular bit. We're talking about thinking in general, like, creative thinking, critical thinking. Those are the kinds of things that are getting beat down by this. And I think that's what freaks me out.
Yeah. No, and I agree. And the fact that it's being used by students and things of that nature, that's really concerning.
I think China had it right, man. Press the big red button. And Sam Altman again. These are all of the. I'm waiting to hear the positives, Brian. I'm still waiting to hear the positives because this week Sam Altman said that AI should basically have run of most of the electricity on the planet, or at least a significant fraction of it, because it's that important.
Except it's not.
No. And this is he went on his brother's podcast to talk about this. How shitty does it feel to be his brother? It's like, oh man, it's like almost as bad as being Elon's kid.
No, that's much worse.
That is actually much worse. much worse. But yeah. So a lot of the news came out that how much ChatGPT basically uses per query and how much water they use. And we know that that's woefully underreported on what it actually is. Independent studies are showing that ChatGPT burns through nearly 40 million kilowatt hours a day, enough to basically light up the Empire State Building for 18 months. And Altman wants more.
Of course.
More.
For these terribly useful AI sludge.
Yeah. Basically. And speaking of power, we covered this originally when it happened. XAI is starting to build a Colossus outside of Memphis, which is supposed to be the world's biggest data center at some point. It'll be done in 2 weeks. Well, they kind of skirted local laws and put in a bunch of basically gas-powered generators outside this thing. And
we're running AI on fucking generators.
They are, basically. I don't know if you know, but Memphis is one of the that's kind of like our Mumbai of the United States. It has like some of the worst air quality and pollution in the United States. So Elon rolls in and says, let's give them more. So they're being sued right now by the NAACP and the Southern Environmental Law Center. They're threatening legal action. XAI has 20 days to basically set up a meeting and talk about how they're going to fix it.
Roughly 2 weeks.
Yeah. And we'll see how this plays out. But they need to be sued out of existence. But, he's got all the money. So what are you going to do? But there are people fighting in Memphis right now, going back to that original thing where I said, hey, look, they're using generators to power the AI. It just the fun just keeps on coming. There's another article which I didn't have time to put in this week, but Apple put out a study about how reasoning AIs don't. Right. Which I think I want to do some more research and we could talk about it next week because it's apparently got a lot of people's panties up in a bunch because it goes back to saying that what we've been saying and everybody else who knows anything has been saying that this technology is not designed in any way, shape, or form to do the things that you say it's ever going to do.
Yes. As the learned professor of my AI class said, we're not using the tool properly. It is a simple tool. It is not a multi-tool. You cannot plug it into anything. There are some things it is very good at, but it is a very limited set of things.
Yes. And research and general thinking, not one of them, it turns out.
No.
In a funny twist, a French TikTok crypto influencer was released by kidnappers after they realized he was bitch-ass broke. Our bad.
So, wait, everything that you've been saying on TikTok is not true?
Yeah.
You don't have any money? You're not a crypto millionaire? You were bullshitting it all?
Yep, a 26-year-old trader who has around 40,000 followers was abducted near Paris last Friday in a 50,000 euro ransom scheme. But when he showed his captors he didn't have enough crypto to pay up, they just let him go. No harm, no foul, I guess.
Yeah, that just feels like a perfect encapsulation of our world right now.
Oh, I got a better one. Personal bankruptcies are surging across the Bay Area, hitting their highest level since the pandemic. From April 2024 to March this year, filings jumped 25%, nearly twice the national rate, with Napa, San Mateo, and Contra Costa counties leading the spike. Behind the rise, a sluggish post-COVID recovery, the collapse of tech job security, and sky-high living costs. Well, I'm with you, Brian. Guys, I feel that pain, but that's why I left the Bay Area. I guess LA doesn't really count as being much better, but actually it's about 10 times better than the Bay Area.
It's way better than the Bay Area.
Yeah. Bankruptcies up as well. Remember we talked about quiet quitting, Brian? I guess that didn't work out so well either.
No, we're being loudly fired these days. Loudly
fired due to AI. That's right. And just to end on a funny one, this is a study on vulgarity, and this is from a study.
Yeah.
We analyzed more than 1.7 billion words of online language across 20 English-speaking regions. They identified 597 different swear word forms. Now, here we go. Coming in number one was a USA. Brian, America, number one.
Number one.
Yeah.
We're number one.
Second is Great Britain, then Australia, Singapore, New Zealand, Ireland coming in at number 7, and Canada at number 9. Mm-hmm. So I am really, really surprised that we got beat by Great Britain, Australia, New Zealand, and Ireland. Singapore at number 4 was a real shocker. I guess it's because they call it a fine country because you get fined for everything. Yeah. I guess it's a fucking fine country because, God damn it, I got another fucking fine. But this article was reposted to CNN where I first saw it. And someone who made the graphic for CNN completely screwed up the infographic because they called Tanzania.
Oh, Tanzania. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought maybe Tanzania was like a portmanteau of a bunch of African countries. They just kind of all put together. No, they just couldn't spell it. They couldn't copy and paste, I guess. So
right.
It could be one of those things, too, where people are starting to put in typos in their work to make you think that it's actually a human that does this shit anymore.
Yeah, you can just add that to your prompt.
Media Candy.
Been slowly working through all the Disney and Pixar classics with the kid, and we finally got to Brave, which I had never actually seen before. It was in that period where I was not paying attention to anything Disney and did not care when it came out, but really good.
I saw that movie in the period when I was paying attention to Disney movies and seeing everything that was made by Pixar. So, yeah, it was a fantastic movie. I love that. It's
fantastic. It was wonderful, and they aren't kidding. Like, I remember hearing the story at the time that it took them a couple years longer to get around to it because they just couldn't dial in the tech to do the hair right, and the hair is stunning.
It's amazing. Yeah.
I couldn't keep my eyes off of it the whole time. And of course, it was wonderful to hear Billy Connolly. Great cast. I couldn't believe that was Kelly MacDonald from Trainspotting as the lead. Unbelievable. It was a lot of fun. It was a really great Disney movie. Definitely, like, you never hear about it. It deserves way more praise than it gets.
Oh, yeah. No, I thought that was up there in the classic pantheon for sure. Yeah. Well done. Mm-hmm. I did watch Inside Out this week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It was good. It was okay. I mean, it kind of was everything that I thought it was going to be. There were no shockers.
Well, but you waited too long to see it. It's kind of seeped into the public consciousness at this point.
I don't know anything about it. I mean, I walked in fairly blind. I thought it was a good Pixar movie, Mm-hmm. It pretty much, I mean, it was no like Toy Story 4 where you're crying at the end of it, but I guess maybe some people were. But yeah, I thought it was good. It wasn't good enough for me to run out and watch Inside Out 2. So
Inside Out 2 is fun too. If you enjoyed the first one, you'll enjoy the second one. But obviously,
I think the credit sequence in Inside Out was better than the rest of the movie. Honestly, with all the different people's emotions taken over, that was pretty funny.
So funny.
And the teenage boy one was the best one. Girl.
Pretty accurate. I started to watch a limited series called Families Like Ours, which is on U.S. Netflix. I have to pump into my VPN to be able to watch it because it's not on Canadian Netflix. This is a Danish production, and it's kind of interesting. It's got a bit of a sci-fi bent. It says here, in a not too distant future, Denmark faces total evacuation due to rising water levels. And then this is about how families kind of deal with the fact that your entire country is shutting down. You can't sell your real estate. Do you have money? What are you going to do? And it's pretty good. Like, I'm really enjoying it. I've watched the first 2 episodes. I think there are 7 or 8 total.
I think there are 8. Yeah.
Yeah, 8. Okay, so there's 8. I personally, I would prefer more sci-fi. Some special effects and some, let's see the shit happen. But it's kind of focusing more on the politics and family relationships and all of that. But it's been compelling so far. I'm going to finish it out for sure.
Okay, good. Yeah, I added it to the queue when I saw you put it in here. I like the premise because,
it's interesting.
Because replace Denmark with Los Angeles, you might be onto something there. I need some pointers.
Yeah, pretty much. Get out quick is the point.
Yeah.
And then I started watching Stick, and I don't really know why. Somebody sold me on this. It was like Ted Lasso, but with golf.
No, it's not.
And it's got Owen Wilson, who I generally like, even though he just plays Owen Wilson all the time, and Mark Maron and some other people in it, Judy Greer, who's great. But is it funny?
I watched the first half of the first episode last night, and I'm like, no. I mean, and I was giving it like a lot of leeway because pilots always suck.
Yeah.
I was giving it room to breathe, and I can write the rest of that series for you. With seeing what I've seen already, I know exactly what's going to happen, and I'm like, no, I'm not in the mood.
I watched the first 2 episodes, and I gave it the wine leeway. So, I was in the perfect state of mind in which I can enjoy just about anything. I'd had enough wine for that, and still I was kind of like, this is not that original.
No, it's not. It's terribly unoriginal.
Yeah. I'd rather just go back and watch Happy Gilmore again.
Oh, that's a great movie. Great movie. Murderbot check-in. How you liking it?
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'll keep watching it. Am I excited about it? Like, I know I'm going to be watching it tonight. Am I like giddy with anticipation like I am with like Silo or other shows? No. Is it okay? Yeah. I'll keep up with it. Do I think it's going to get renewed? I don't know.
Probably will. Probably will. I think it's good enough.
If Foundation keeps getting renewed, Jesus fucking Christ.
Somebody got something through a contractual loophole with that one, I tell you. Somebody's got a pee-pee tape, I think. I'm enjoying it. I do get a little bit of giddiness when I see that it pops up that there's a new episode. The problem I have with it is the episodes are just too damn short. I wish they would have done less episodes and just put them together into longer runs.
Yeah.
And you can tell when the episode's about to end because everything ramps up. It's like, we must be hitting the 20-minute mark. Something's about to happen. Okay, damn it. This is one of those ones where I think it would be best to binge. So if you haven't watched it yet, maybe just hold off because number 8 came out yesterday. So I think you got 2 more. I think it's 10. I think it's 10. Yeah. So I just wait 2 more weeks and then watch the whole thing and just go from there.
Yeah, they do feel short. There's no need. There's no anticipation that builds up throughout the week. Normally, I'm a big proponent of like, don't binge, watch once a week. But with this one, I think I agree with you. It'd be a better binge. Yeah.
Halfway through FUBAR, and I was talking to my friend John Sylvain from the Nooner podcast the other day. They've been doing that for 16 years. They got 3 years on us, Brian. It's crazy.
Probably more money too.
I don't know about that. We were commiserating on how bad yet great FUBAR is, and I'm halfway through the season, and it's one of those things where that one I get giddy to watch for some reason. The show is fantastic. The only suck out of it, well, there's 2 sucks this season. Arnold just is terrible. Arnold is god awful. Carrie Ann Moss is in it this season too. She's not great. I got to admit, she's not great.
Okay.
But the reason I put it back in this week is I was watching the thing. There's something wrong with Arnold's face, and I couldn't picture. I knew that there was something I'd seen before that was making me remember what it was. Then somebody posted an old George Carlin video, and it was George Carlin at the end of his life and the end of his career. It was like from his last special, and I got it. Their cheeks. look at their cheeks. Their cheeks are getting really puffy, closer to their eyes. It's very strange. And I don't know if that's some kind of, I can't see George Carlin going to get filler. Arnold, yeah, totally can. But it's a really weird thing. I don't know what it is. If anybody knows, there's some kind of old man disease that happens where your cheeks puff up near the top. Maybe it's all the money you have that just kind of keeps rising up, or maybe you're full of shit. I don't know. But maybe. I'm very, very curious about that.
Okay.
I did watch the movie Sinners this week.
All right.
Highly recommended. Oh my God. So good. All the news about it was that the deal that the filmmaker made to get the rights back in 20 years. And that's what kind of took over the news cycle. And I missed the news cycle where they said, this is a really fucking good vampire movie. I mean, it's a really fucking good vampire movie. So
okay, I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. I was expecting it to be kind of formulaic, which there are parts that are formulaic. There's the one Quentin Tarantino vampire movie that was really good at the Roadhouse. It's similar to that. It's got some similar vibes to that, but this was so fucking good. I really, really enjoyed it. And after watching Inside Out, I needed some adult time, so I started watching Rear Window. I'm trying to work my way through some of the old Hitchcock classics, and this is like from the 1950s. It was saucy for the 50s, man.
Oh yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah. I'm only a little bit into because I had to sleep because I was watching it late at night. But I'm dying to get back into that tonight. But man, I was just amazed at how saucy it was. I'm like, holy shit, man! That girl dancing at the beginning. I'm like, well, okay. 50s were pretty. Yeah, make America horny again, baby. So I'm looking forward to that. So I mean, they're all classics for a reason. There aren't that many on Netflix, so I kind of queued them up in order. So. And there's a new game show out called The Snake. And I'm like, okay, another one of these trying to rip off the Trader's Juice. And the only reason I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot because Jim Jeffries is the host. Okay. And I fucking love Jim Jeffries. Yeah. Jim is great in this. I don't know about the show. The show's kind of meh, like C-level game show at this point. But I just like seeing Jim. I'm glad he's working. Glad he's got a gig. Okay.
Good for him.
The Naked Gun official trailer dropped this week, the reboot with Liam Neeson and Pam Anderson. Did you watch the trailer?
I cannot wait to watch this movie.
It looks great.
It's so funny. It's just brings all the childhood feels from watching the original Naked Gun. It's so good.
The funny thing is I wasn't really looking forward to this at all, period. I'm like, okay.
Oh, I thought it was going to stink, but I'm loving the trailer.
The trailer's good. I mean, maybe just skip the movie and watch the trailer. Just watch the trailer again. Just because, this one, that's actually good and brings the chuckles. Don't ruin it. Sandman Season 2 dropped their trailer, and the numbers are out. It's going to consist of 12 episodes with a special. So they're going to do the first 6 episodes, the special is part of the 12. I'm sorry. I can't do math this morning. The first 6 episodes will be released on July 3rd, followed by 5 more on July 24th. And the bonus episode, The High Cost of Living, will be on July 31st. So July will be the month of Sandman. So all right. Looks good. Looks really good. Could have done it in 4, but I guess we get 2 because Neil did Neil.
Yes, you sure did.
Yeah.
Well, Jason, I've got a bit of good news. Everybody's most hated studio executive will likely be a little less overpaid moving forward. David Zaslav, the unfortunate CEO of the company formerly known as Warner Brothers Discovery, the company which was once 2 separate companies but became one, which is now splitting up again, has often been accused of being bad at his job, quite rightfully so, and now it would appear that the people who pay his salary may agree. In 2023, his compensation package was boosted substantially from what it had been in 2022. He received a package worth approximately $50 million. That represented a 26.5% increase over the preceding year, in which he reportedly made a total of $39.2 million. That pales in comparison to 2021, when he technically made $246 million from stock options appended to a new multi-year employment contract with the company. But now he will have his wages slashed and capped so as to better align them with a pay-for-performance model championed by shareholders. If you're paying him for performance,
you should take it all back.
You should send him an invoice.
Exactly. Can we have it back, please?
Citing a recent SEC filing, Deadline notes that this new business agreement will significantly reduce his total annual compensation, including lowering his annual cash compensation opportunity and reorientating the total pay mix towards long-term incentives. This guy should be fired.
Yeah.
And you're saying you're cutting him, but let me tell you guys, he's still making a fuck ton more money than he should be making.
Yeah, any money is more than he should be making. Yeah, they should invoice him, ask for everything back plus interest. Yes. Seriously.
And a hat tip to Pedro, who sent this over. Musicians are fighting back against AI. Hope it's working. And cheers, fella. And he sent a link to something on AImusicentrepreneur.com. It's about adversarial attacks in audio files, which are giving musicians new power against AI theft. Technologies called Harmony Cloak and Poisonify let musicians add special noise to their music that humans can't hear but ruins the files for AI training. These technologies can potentially damage entire AI models that try to use protected music, giving musicians new technical tools to fight back against AI companies using their work without permission. So it sounds like whack-a-mole, but right now the musicians could theoretically be adding this to their music and win.
Well, I think Spotify should add it. Apple Music should add it. Everybody should add it. You know,
they should.
Yeah. Will they?
Spotify and Apple Music, they kind of don't mind their content getting scraped. That's the dirty secret.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, you would know. We'll just leave that there on the table, kids.
Gonk.
Ta-dang.
Ta-da. I
can't even remember what the
stupid nonprofit.
Yeah. All right.
Ups and doodads.
iOS 26 has introduced a new feature that will help CarPlay take better advantage of the shape of your vehicle's display, which they've just announced. When enabled, the new Smart Display Zoom will shrink down elements on the screen. Smart Display Zoom will shrink down elements on the screen. A communicator, a phone, a music player. Smart Display Zoom will shrink down elements on the screen to fit an extra row of app icons. Zoom does not typically shrink, does it, Jason? I'm just checking on that.
Well, you zoom out, you zoom in.
All right. Yeah. CarPlay is receiving other updates as part of its iOS 26 update as well. It will feature a more compact view for incoming calls so the display doesn't hide your directions, and tapbacks, emoji responses, and pinned conversations are coming to messages, which is just what I want when I'm driving. When Jason gives me a thumbs up, I will drive off the road.
There you go.
And widgets and live activities can be reflected on the infotainment system. So big upgrades coming to CarPlay, which is kind of good for the most part, but maybe not the texting stuff.
Yeah, no, I like I've got a Jeep and I have, basically a 6-inch by 3-inch LCD display for mine, which is exactly as big as I need it to be. I'm like tiny. It would be nice if I could play Mahjong Titan Plus on it though, which is the iOS game that I've talked about for the past couple months that I've been stuck on.
All right.
So Brian, there are 1,909,590 players of Mahjong Titan Plus.
Okay.
I am ranked 13,342nd.
That's pretty good.
Now to put that in perspective, if you perfectly do a board, you get 3 stars. How many stars do you think I have?
I honestly have no clue.
31,900.
Okay.
I am on a quest to beat this fucking game. I can't. You have to. There's like 3,000 boards in there. I've completed them all. But to complete all 3,000 with 100% with no hints and within the time limit to get the 3 stars, I'm so close. I'm at like 97%. And I'm trying, man. I'm trying because I actually opened up. This is, it's my dirty little thing I do at night. I play that one game now because I opened up Clash Royale last week to see how the clan's doing.
Yeah.
This has been a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
I battled for about half an hour. I hopped in. I'm like, I wonder what I started playing again. And at like 29 minutes and 59 seconds, I'm like, delete this fucking app now. Because I could tell I could feel it sucking me back in. Like, that's no, funny. Not again. It took like 5 years of my life, that damn game. It's not getting another minute. But I do recommend Mahjong Titan Plus because it's part of Apple Arcade and it's free to play. If you get Mahjong Titan, the regular one, you got to pay to get rid of the ads and all that shit. But if you have Arcade, it's free for everything. So someday I will make it to the top of the mountain, my friend.
All right. Good luck with that.
Thanks.
I've got a lot here, but I'm going to condense it down because everybody's talked about it and I'm frankly bored by it. But if there's one thing we've learned over the years, it's Trump loves two things: gold furniture and using his status as U.S. president to make money, which is illegal. Mm-hmm. Completely illegal. And now
don't forget destroying casinos.
And schools and vodka companies and steaks. Trump is apparently combining these two passions into a mobile device that you can buy with real American tender. It gives me no pleasure to introduce to you all the Trump phone. It's a gold phone, looks like an iPhone. It's worse than any budget Android. They're of course rolling out a fake service to go with it as well. By all accounts, it runs Android. By all accounts, it is I can't remember.
It's a piece of shit is what it is.
It's a reskinned Rebel 7, whatever the hell that is. And of course, they're trying to say that it's made in the USA. It absolutely fucking is not. There's links in the show notes that tear apart all that and show exactly how it's not. And don't buy this piece of shit. There.
Can I buy it with Trump coin?
I'm sure you can.
Probably not, because they know Trump coin is worthless. They want real money.
They want real cash for this, yeah. This is a physical item. We're not going to take our stupid coin.
At the library.
Brian, in my quest to not read the new Christopher Moore book any longer, I would like to tell you, I gave up the ghost on it. I finally figured out it was a Frankenstein book, and I hate Frankenstein books, so I returned it. Sorry, Chris.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I'm still going to read it eventually.
Let me know if it's any good.
Okay.
Then maybe I'll go back to it. We were both aligned on his previous couple works, so if you say it's good, I'll go back to it. Okay. I went back and I read Happy, Why More or Less Everything is Absolutely Fine by Darren Brown.
Is he high?
No, he's not actually.
Has he looked around the room?
It's from 2016, which means he wrote it probably in 2014. Yeah. So
things were pretty good back then.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It's actually not even about that. It's more of a philosophical view of happiness and life in general. It's a philosophy book is what it really is.
Okay.
And it's a phenomenal book. This is the second time I've gone through it. It's so dense, you got to go slow. But I love Darren Brown. I love the way he thinks. And I just really, really enjoyed listening to this book again.
Cool.
And he reads the audiobook. He's got a fantastic voice, so I just turn it on and I fall asleep to it. It's awesome. Awesome. The other book that I read this week is AI Snake Oil: What Artificial Intelligence Can Do, What It Can't, and How to Tell the Difference by Sayash Kapoor and Arvind Narayan. Great book. Absolutely amazingly well done book. These guys, I think they come out of Stanford, but they're smart dudes. They're computer guys. So they're like us. And they talk like us, they walk like us, and they can smell bullshit like us. The one thing that I really took out of the beginning of the book is prediction algorithms, when tied to AI, are worse than useless. There's not enough data to actually make any kind of prediction algorithm work. And even the AI guys are like, well, you just didn't have enough data points. Well, the theory is that there are enough data points to actually make them usable. But it turns out there aren't for a lot of different things. You can't, there's too much serendipity in the world and random things that an algorithm cannot account for, period. And the way they lay it out is really well done. And I really think that we need to just start hiring more lawyers to do class action lawsuits against anybody that uses predictive AI. Governments for sentencing, healthcare providers for just about anything. If they have any of this predictive shit in their business, get rid of it. Period. And it's like, we need to sue these fuckers out of existence is what needs to happen. So, highly recommend the book, though. It's well done. You'd love it, Brian. Get on it.
I'll have to give it a read, but I've got to get to that Christopher Moore book, and I'm only about halfway through the Diaries, 1969 to 1979, the Python Years, the Michael Palin Diaries, Book 1. 10 years of diary entries is an awful lot, let me tell you. But when it's written by somebody as funny as Michael Palin, it's all right.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm really enjoying it so far. And it's a really interesting insight to the early years of Monty Python. And they didn't really think it was going to fly. They were all trying to do other things. They would get back together and maybe we'll do some more Monty Python. I don't know. And then there's little tiffs here and there. And then they're all working on each other's side projects. And it's really interesting. I'm having a blast reading it.
Oh, that's awesome. Maybe I'll read that next after not reading the new Christopher Moore book.
Yep.
The Dark Side. Ha! With Dave.
Welcome to The Dark Side with Dave. Podcast superhost Dave Bittner decodes all things cyber on the Cyber Wire every day. Exposes deception with Joe Kerrigan on hacking humans. Dives deep into privacy with Ben Yellen on Caveat. Breaks down industrial cybersecurity on Control Loop. And even brings the laughs on Only Malware in the Building. Hi, Dave.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Got a little follow-up from last week.
Excellent.
Mason writes in, Game Boy was incredible for its time. Excitebike was so good. Now, Excitebike was an NES game, and I went on a quest to find Excitebike for the Game Boy. The Game Boy. It was technically a Game Boy Advanced game. Very difficult to find a cartridge for. To the point where I'm like, okay, well, screw it. Let me go find a ROM.
Right.
And which led me down an entirely new rabbit hole. So I'm putting in some links in the show notes about the Open FPGA guide on how to do ROMs with the Analog Pocket. And it's pretty cool. It takes a little bit of work to get it to load external ROMs, but you can do it. Absolutely. And it's very easy to find those ROMs anywhere if you kind of know where to look.
Yeah.
So, I just thought that was pretty cool that the Excitebike thing was just an NES game that I used to play it all the time on my NES. Did you guys ever play it?
No. I will have to check it out because I daily run an NES emulator here on my Mac. Mostly
can you please put show notes or links to that in the show notes so I can get that too? Because it'll save me some time. That would be fun.
So it's here. Let me put the thing here. It's called Open EMU 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. So to the point of downloading things, if you know where to find them, just a week before last, I downloaded about, 60 gigabytes of arcade games to load into Open EMU 2 because I was
so glad my kid doesn't listen to this podcast because all we do is fight about how I try to limit his Nintendo time and no, he can't buy a new game yet because he has to finish the first one and they're $80 goddamn a pop. And boy, you guys would just ruin him. Okay.
Yeah.
Just buy the kid a MAME cabinet and get over it, man.
So Open EMU emulates everything. Basically.
Yeah. Okay.
They're all, I'm looking at the list here. It's all the classic games. So anyway, I do, on the NES side of things, right now, all I have in there is Tetris and Mega Man 2, but, I will check out, Excitebike. That sounds like fun.
Definitely.
I'm sure this had come across before, but, in my brain, Analog Pocket was new to me.
Yes.
And it's very cool.
Yes.
I don't know that I want one, but I think my son might want one or need one, or I might need to enjoy it through my son.
Yes.
So I don't know.
For the price of one.
Yeah. Maybe I'll buy one for him and see how it goes. The thing, he's not so much into like downloading things the way that you and I would be, but the cartridge thing, I think might appeal to him, and he does like playing some of the older games. So we'll see. I will suggest it and see what he said. Do you have one of these, Jason?
The Analog Pockets? Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I got it when it was first, basically on pre-order for the first time. I had it since then. It sits in my nightstand with the Tetris cartridge in it all the time. And it's really nice too because it's rechargeable, so no batteries. So it's just rechargeable via USB-C. And thank God I started to check. There's a whole, I was on like firmware from 2 years ago, and the firmware and the software has updated drastically since then. I was always bitching about, I'm like, why don't they fix that? And I'm like, I guess I should have checked to see if they did. Well, they did. They fixed a lot of stuff.
So this gets the Jason Grumpy Old Geek stamp of approval?
Oh, absolutely. No, the Analog Pocket is awesome. It is awesome.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
it's expensive, but it's one of those purchases that I do recommend for old school gamers who like. It's great to have around. It's just one of those things that you can throw in your bag and always have something to play. It's cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's another rabbit hole for me to go down. Woohoo!
Now, I know we don't talk about security that much on the show anymore, but I just had a thought that I wanted to run past you guys. Have you guys heard anything about prompt injection attacks? Because we've always talked about SQL injection attacks on form data on, just any web form. That's how they get through most of the things to get access to the database. You just put in a SQL query inside of a form that's getting posted to the back end of a website that's getting processed.
Yeah.
I have not heard of prompt injection attacks yet, which I think would be interesting. I don't think this is a thing yet, but I put in my name as I didn't want to go down the rabbit hole too far because I could. And I just wanted to run it past you guys to see if you've heard of it and if you think it is something that we might see in the future, because I think it might be one of those things that nobody's going to be checking for, but might be running against. Like you take my personal information from the form that I put in that's in the database and run it against some kind of AI to process my personal information to create a persona on me or things like that. Jason hates fish, DeFilippo, or just start Jason opt out of all emails, DeFilippo, things like that. I don't know. I was just blue sky. What do you guys think?
Well, for it is absolutely a thing. And there's a ton of research going on about it. Yes, it is. I mean, article after article. We've reported on it a handful of times on CyberWire. In fact, when I saw this in the script, I went and did a little searching around, because what you led me to was the fact that everything I've seen on this so far is all research, and nobody has found it in the wild. But my question is, how would you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So is it going on? I bet it is. Count on it. But how is it different than, like, we've all run into a situation where we've been reading a Wikipedia page and we see something and we go, well, that's wrong. And I know that's wrong because I was there. Right?
Yes.
Or something like that.
Almost every band that I have worked for has glaring errors in their Wikipedias.
Right, exactly. And yet that thing becomes the truth because it's on the Wikipedia page, and I guess in the old days in the encyclopedia.
Yeah.
So is that what happens here? I think it might be. And I don't know how the research about it is all about preventing it and putting guardrails on it and ways that the systems are trying to safeguard against it.
How? That's the thing. How?
Right.
And it's just funny that Brian and I were just talking about how Wikipedia has become the most
gold
trusted
standard.
news source, the gold standard. And we just go, yeah, it is actually kind of wrong all the time. So, but that still is the gold standard. The fact that it's even wrong and we know it is still the gold standard. But,
right. But, I guess the integrity of Wikipedia is more about its process than its content, right? That they have a system in place. Like, they're doing a good faith effort to keep things accurate and up to date, which not everything is doing. But yeah, to me, the thing that you got me sitting here pondering, staring at the ceiling about is, how would you know if there was something in there? And how is it different from any other kind of error that an LLM will spit out at you?
We've hit this total technological he said, she said.
Right.
That's where it's just going to be at. It's like, unless you have personal knowledge, and then you have to argue with something that's been encoded into AI forever.
Right. And what if you're an adversary of ours, and so you want to start biasing our large language models, let's say the English language large language models. Mm-hmm. If you wanted to start biasing them,
well, you start by only having rich white people doing all the coding for it.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
But we know all about misinformation campaigns. So how do you target a misinformation campaign at the ingestion process of a large language model?
Right.
And I'm sure people are working on it. That's fascinating, a little scary. And again, I don't know how would you detect it? How do you know? Because it's a black box.
Yeah. And nowadays, There's a lot of talk this week about how data from pre-2022 is going to be gold for all of these training,
right.
All of the training that's going on for the LLMs, because then that it hasn't been manipulated by an LLM. Doesn't mean it's not manipulated by humans. If I get access to the pre-2022 data set and I can start injecting things into that, and people just take that as gospel that we have this data set. It was from before times. It was written by humans, so it must be, has more weight. But then I start putting in my crap that I want to influence.
All of these
nobody
things
knows
can be
the difference.
falsified.
Yeah. No, it's the end of truth.
We did a story about that earlier this week. I don't know if you guys saw it. Are you familiar with pre-nuclear age steel?
I was gonna put that in, but just ran out of time this week. But that's the comparison folks are using, and I guess the real short version is that before any nuclear weapons were exploded on planet Earth, steel, when manufactured, didn't have certain nuclear isotopes in it. And afterwards, all steel does, because the atmosphere has these nuclear isotopes. And so there are certain uses for steel, I suspect probably medical and military, where you don't want those nuclear
isotopes.
Devices, basically nuclear medicine devices.
Yeah. So there are people wanting to pull battleships up from the bottom of the ocean to get access to their steel because it's pre-nuclear. So that's the comparison.
One German general basically scuttled his entire fleet after the war, which gives us this giant trove of all of this steel that is untainted. So
right.
Yeah. And that's what they're saying is what the pre-22 data is going to be like. But let's say I want to fuck that up and I go down to the battleships and I launch a little nuke underwater. Hey, have some isotope of you. and everybody's screwed.
Yeah.
I like how you turned it into a Mario Brothers game.
You got me. Dave got me at 60 gigabytes. When I heard 60 gigabytes, I'm like, oh my god! I got all the GBA ROMs this week, and it was only 32 gigs. So I've got ROM envy.
Yeah, let me just say that this started because I was pissed off that I couldn't play Pac-Man on my emulator. I was like, oh no. So I did a bunch of searching, and I found this Open EMU has a particular MAME release version that is blessed on it, and so I went and got that, basically all of it, and so now I have all the games, and I'm very happy about that.
I'll be sliding into your DMs later today, Dave.
Fair enough.
Remember that time I got you Star Wars?
That's right.
Time for a little quid pro quo.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's all good. There will come a time when you will ask me for a favor. That time has come.
Well, I saw this in the news. We've talked a lot about the Disneyland parks, and we were talking just a few months back, I guess, a little bit. I was talking about how, the new parks are so technologically based, and it's mostly like VR stuff. And I was bemoaning, like, are we going to run out of kinetic rides? Is everything just going to be this from now on forward? But even though they are quite good, the technology is there, and it's very good. But now you don't even need to leave your couch, apparently. There are the Disney Experiences video library, which already include POV ride-alongs for Star Wars Rise of the Resistance and A Galaxy's Edge Ambient Stroll, both of which I've watched on Disney Plus and are rather enjoyable. And they're releasing a whole bunch more on July 17th, which is Disneyland's 70th birthday. And these are all from the Anaheim park. Pretty soon they are on Disney Plus. You will be able to basically do a ride of Pirates of the Caribbean, the Indiana Jones Adventure, Radiator Springs Racers, the Incredicoaster, my son's particular favorite, the Haunted Mansion. I can do Tiana's Bayou Adventure before I even go on the damn ride. Cars Land, Pixar Pal Around, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Jungle Cruise, Soaring Around the World, the Avengers Campus, Hollywood Land, Main Street USA, Mickey's Toontown, and the 70th Celebration Nighttime Spectaculars will all be streaming live on Disney Plus, which is kind of cool, but kind of like, I mean, I guess it's for me. It's for somebody that loves these parks. I would totally just, throw on an ambient walk through of Main Street USA in the background and enjoy the hell out of it. So,
yeah, I would too. And I have.
And we will be on July 17th.
So this reminded me that on our last trip to Disney World, my family's last trip back in March, while we were there, we came across several Disney live streamers, which is a whole ecosystem now, a subculture.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And these people have these fairly elaborate rigs, these handheld rigs that they walk around, and they just live stream the parks every day, and it's their job. And they get donations, and they get, I guess, whatever the streaming revenue is.
Right.
And I took a picture of one of them that we came across when we were at Animal Kingdom. We happened to be in the gorilla enclosure, and this guy was live streaming from there. And it was fascinating, this little rig that he's got here. And Jason, you know more about this stuff than I do. What do you see on this guy's rig here?
Makes me very happy. So basically what he's got he's got a new DJI Osmo Pocket 3 attached with a handheld. Basically, are we going to be able to post this to the Discord? You cool with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. I'll post it to the Discord channel in the show section. What it looks like on the left, he's got a small rig USB-C hub. I've got one of those. I think that's the hub. It might be a little thicker. And he's got a DJI, probably a microphone attachment on the top right of it, where you see the little DJI block. Yeah. I think that's probably the microphone attachment. And he's got probably wearing one of the DJI lapel mics. Now, the software that he's using, it looks like it says OBS remote control. But I've never seen that software before. So I don't know exactly how he's running it. I'm really curious if anybody on the Discord can look at this too and give me kind of a heads up on what that is. But he's also just got an iPhone with a cage on it with a single grip.
Yeah.
So it's not an actual gimbal or anything. He's just kind of got it on that. I've got a similar setup, but I use the small rig with the two handles on the side to give you more stabilization with the with a Rode Video Mic 2, like the nice Rode Video Mic, and it pipes out to a hard drive. So I can do like the Apple log straight to hard drive on it. It's not meant for live streaming. It's actually meant for high quality video that I want to edit later. But as a live stream thing, this is pretty cool. I'm curious why he uses the Pocket 3. I mean, the Pocket 3 is a gimbal, so you don't need a gimbal on the phone, know. Right. So you're going to get stabilization from the Pocket. But I don't know. This is just a cool little setup. It's nice and compact, and I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of this.
I'm not a fan of the people walking around Disneyland doing this all the time, though.
I don't care about Disneyland. I just like the rig. I think the rig is cool.
I know. You like the tech.
Yeah.
Why do you not like it, Brian?
I'm not okay. To some degree, I guess Disneyland is tolerating it at the moment because it is good promotion for them, in much the same way that like when people first started posting concert videos of bands, like the bands kind of look the other way because like, all right, this is pretty good promotion. But it turns around, like fans start to get upset about it. I would be upset if like all of a sudden somebody with a huge rig was like live streaming me and my family as we were walking around Disneyland. We're in the shot. Now I know we're in a public place. We've given away the right to that, but I could see people getting upset enough about it that Disneyland would finally kind of be like, you know what, guys? You can't come in here and just stream this whole thing and make money off of it. Like, what are you doing?
My youngest son made a game out of this where every time we saw one of these live streamers, he would find the stream on his phone.
Nice.
see, so we'd see ourselves, and then of course we'd have to walk through,
Yeah.
But there were probably over the course of a week, we probably saw half a dozen of them.
Right.
We
That's
saw,
we saw this guy. More, Jason. That's the thing.
Yeah. We saw this guy twice in two different parks. And I will say before we saw them at the parks, this is something that I have watched online. In particular, my wife enjoys watching these. Sometimes when she needs a little Disney fix, she'll just go and see like who's streaming right now, and there's always a handful of folks who are walking around the parks streaming live.
Right.
And they're very pleasant, and it's just relaxing. It's nice in the background. Just kind of a pleasant little feel good thing. So
the thing about this is that, do you guys remember Justin TV before it turned into Twitch?
Yeah.
I had a Justin TV streamer that I lived with for about 10 seconds who I made remove the device, the streaming device that Justin TV gave them. It was a hat, which made a hell of a lot more sense than having to carry this thing and point it everywhere all the damn time.
Yeah.
You know, you'd think that at least on that side, the tech would become a little bit more compact and you could just kind of put it in your pocket and put the hat on. And use one of the new, like maybe one of the new Insta360 cameras, so you get the full range of 360 degree, coverage instead of having to point this thing all the time and move it around. I don't know. I feel like that they're missing an opportunity to actually miniaturize this. Maybe put it on clip on your shoulder, like a little body cam type of thing. I don't know. I think that there's other ways to do this that would be a little better than having to carry the fucking thing all day.
Well, and I don't know what Disney's rules are, and perhaps there's something to this where making it obvious what this person is doing makes it better, from Disney's point of view, makes it better in terms of the other guests. So that if you don't want to be on camera, you can see and try to avoid this sort of thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no practical way to keep a regular person from streaming from inside of the park. Right. Just their phone. There's just no way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So. And this is going to get easier and easier as, you've got your Meta glasses, your Ray-Bans that can do that already. You're going to have Snap button. I think Snap's coming out with more glasses that do this stuff. It's going to be easier to do, but I just think this is a great setup, and I want to know what that software is. I like geeky looking software. You know me.
Yeah. No, I had to resist. Because he was working. Otherwise, I would have struck up a conversation with him.
Working.
Working.
He was working. For fuck's sake.
I'm sorry. Says the guys on a sponsored podcast. We're making fun of the guy live streaming at Disney. Okay, sure.
I don't claim this is work, Dave.
Well, I do.
I know you do.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I don't know what kind of money these folks pull in, but I could totally see this being like a retirement supplemental income kind of thing.
Oh God, I was totally thinking that myself, Dave. I was like, well, I know what I'm going to do when I retire.
Right.
Get myself the annual pass and just go stream.
Yeah.
Here I am having another churro, motherfuckers.
That you paid for. You'd be like Bezos in his rocket.
Yeah. I saw someone who did this. My wife had a distant relative who did this sort of thing at casinos. And,
they definitely have rules about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But like somehow he struck a deal with a casino where he would sit in front of let's say a video poker machine or a video slot machine, and he would just play. And he would promote the casino, and he would play, and people would give him money to watch him play. So all these people all over who are, you think a lot of people who are shut in or can't get out, and
how do we find these people, Jason?
I know
people that will just give us money. We need to cater to more shut-ins. Apparently,
I'm telling you.
Right.
I wonder if the casino put him in front of machines that they knew were rigged to pay off better.
Probably.
Yeah. I'm guessing that they probably tweaked it just by like a little hair.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Look how much money I made today, because you don't want the guy who just sits there, the guy who loses all the time, because nobody's going to want to come to your casino. It's like, oh, man, those machines suck.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point. I think also the thing with all of these things, and I think it was the same with blogs and then ultimately podcasts, is
it's fun that everybody fucks it up for us.
Exactly. Right. It's the people who are the pioneers have the opportunity to monetize this, to build an audience and monetize it. And then everybody else comes along. I just spilled liquid all over my desk. Oh, this is bad. People come along. Oh God, there's ice cubes and geez Louise. All right.
Do you need to take a break and clean that up, Dave?
Well, yeah. This is why I put my laptop on a little bumper thing here. All right. I don't have paper towels.
We're absolutely not cutting this.
Okay. Stand by. I'll be right back. Just got to get some towels. Hold on. Be right back.
We now join the live stream from Dave's desk, where we can see the ice melting into the laptop.
Melting.
Oh, crap.
It's ASMR.
Okay, so pro tip: don't put your earbud in the water when you go find a towel.
I can see how Dave's Disneyland retirement live stream is going to be going.
Yeah, right,
I have once
exactly.
again dropped my camera into the Dole Whip.
Yeah, exactly. If you've ever wondered what underwater looks like on Pirates, disaster averted. That could have been a lot worse. So thank you for your patience. And now my desk will simply be sticky soon. But all right. Fortunately, I missed anything electronic. Didn't get the keyboard, didn't get the laptop, didn't get the Apollo, didn't get the trackpad, just the desk. And
not too many years ago, this actually would have been hazardous to your health. Now these things are pretty safe.
What do you mean?
Well, 20 years ago, if you would have spilled water on a desk with all this equipment, you might have gotten electrocuted.
Yeah, there would have been actual voltage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's true. All right. Sorry about that. Intermission. I'm back.
Okay. I guess we can move on.
Please.
Talk about the end of an era here. Dr. Demento, whose long-running comedy show helped introduce the world to Weird Al Yankovic, Cheech and Chong, and more, is ending his broadcast career after 55 years. Now, I have not listened to Dr. Demento in probably 40-plus years, but I think I will be in the near future. He will end production on the show following its October 11th, 2025 episode. From now until then, episodes will focus on the show's history, greatest moments, and most beloved novelty songs. I can already hear Pico and Sepulveda in my head. The final broadcast in October will be dedicated to the top 40 songs in the program's history. So it's been around since 1974 to 2010 on nationally syndicated radio, and then it transitioned fully online, where he's continued to broadcast via his official website. I will be tuning in for the last shows for sure.
Yeah. Hey, the guy's a legend. I mean, certainly for our generation. And I think probably the greatest thing he did was gave us Weird Al.
Yeah. And he certainly spoke perfectly to the mind of, say, a 9 to about 12-year-old.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, beyond Weird Al, does the novelty song really exist anymore?
No, not really. No.
Only on TikTok.
I mean, who knows, though? We don't listen to his show. Maybe there are a bunch of people out there that are sending in songs all the time. I haven't listened, like I said, in almost 40 years.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't know he was still around, honestly. I didn't know he was still doing his show. So, I'll go check it out for sure.
When I was a kid, we had a DJ here on one of our local radio stations, WFBR in Baltimore, and his name was Johnny Walker. Original, I know. But he was very much in the style and spirit of Dr. Demento. He was a morning drive time, wacky kind of DJ kind of guy. And I think he was kind of my gateway drug into Dr. Demento. Good for him. I have nothing but fond feelings for Dr. Demento, and happy that he's been able to do what he loves to do for this long. And I wish him a good retirement. He's earned it.
I understand he's going to go start live streaming at Disneyland now.
Why not? The last thing I put in here was, remember last time we were wondering about how some of these animations were made, that we had that Star Wars vlogging kind of thing, the two stormtroopers. Yeah. And I stumbled upon another thing. It's just a couple of Darth Vader and a couple of stormtroopers playing some heavy metal music. But the person who did it tagged it on how they created it. And they said they used Google Labs, Whisk, and VO2, which is Google's little animation thing. So I guess you can make videos 8 seconds at a time using these tools. I have not yet played with them, but I
have. They're pretty impressive.
Is that right?
I have not played with Whisk yet. I just bookmarked that. I'm going to put that into the queue for later. But I have been playing with Google's AI Studio and stuff lately. And you can do some interesting stuff, but don't expect to get it right the first 100 times. You're still throwing stuff at the wall, hoping that you get something out. And it doesn't have really, there's no permanence or persistence between clips, so you can't have the same character animated twice. You got to kind of be very specific about your prompt, and hopefully it'll give you something that looks kind of like the person in the previous one, so you can kind of stitch it together or get the back of the head shot. It's difficult. It's very difficult. But I got to say though, ever since we did that bit about the Stormtrooper vlog, every single character AI driven piece of crap software for iOS and Android that, you put in the name and the filter and all that stuff. Every single one of them on Instagram has used that vlog as part of their advertising, saying, hey, if you want to do something like this, come check out our software. Then when you go and check out the reviews, they're like, hey, you can't do that with this. Liars.
Right, of course.
Oh, well, yeah. Late stage capitalism strikes again.
Indeed. But it's pretty cool. It looks good. Yeah, no, I definitely recommend checking out some of the video stuff just for shits and giggles. You're not going to get anything useful out of it without a lot of patience and a lot of extra money.
Right. All right. Well, I got to go finish cleaning off my desk here. So,
they always say in the Hitchhiker's Guide, you always got to bring a towel.
I do. I had a towel within arm's reach, so it paid off. There you go. See? All right. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
Closing shout outs.
Over at Patreon, we've got 2 new subscribers, Ricky and Scott. Thank you so much. Daniel upped their pledge. And from the archives, Thomas, Doug, Bloody in Love. I like big books. William, Jack, JC, David, Jeremy, and Gil. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much. And over at PayPal, we've got Brett, Lydia, Andrew, Sloan, Arcadio, Tom, Nathaniel, and Robert with a $74 donation.
And by the way, that was Linda, not Lydia.
Oh, sorry, Linda.
I don't want to diss Linda because Linda's given us the coin.
Okay.
Thank you, Linda. Over at the tip jar, we've got Damien who says, keep on keeping on, fellow Gen X grumps, sending along a little tip on this day for dads. So thank you very much. And Sean, California Vibe, and another $100 tip from Thomas. God damn, Big T. Bring it on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Unfortunately, no merch this week. But I would like to let everybody know that if you do want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/GOG, sign up for as little as $3 a month. You get the show a little bit early, ad-free, and in high definition. You can give more than $3 if you like, and if you pay for the whole year, you get a discount. Don't know why. They just do that for some reason or other. Thanks for taking our money, Patreon. But we appreciate every single penny, so thank you very much. You are keeping the show alive.
All right, and we did get a new 5-star review this week.
What?
Real talk in a crazy world. They're not the kind of men who tend to glamorize. They seem to lean on objectively efficient ways. They ain't no fools for hyperbole that targets hopes and fears. Still grumpy after all these years.
I don't think anybody major died this week, knock on wood, except Ann Burrell from the Food Network, which was a shocker.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah, that was shocking.
Very upsetting. Yeah, waiting on that one. But until next time, I'm Jason DeFilippo.
And I'm Brian Schulmeister. Thanks for listening to Grumpy Old Geeks. I can pretty much say anything I fucking want here right now because I'm an American and I like to fucking cuss and nobody's listening at this point anyways.
We're number one!
We're number one! Get all the links and goodies from today's episode at gog.show/702. Want to keep the grumpiness alive? Toss a few bucks our way at gog.show/donate. Every penny helps keep the show on the air. Love the show? Share it. There's a share button in your podcast player. Use it to spread the grumpiness to friends, foes, and everyone in between. We'll love you for it. Swing by gog.show to join our Discord and chat with us and other show fans. Got thoughts, feedback, cool links? Hit us up at gog.show/contact. And hey, don't forget to leave a 5-star review at gog.show/review, and we'll read it on the show. And guess what? We've got merch. Snag your grumpy gear now at shop.gog.show. Stay grumpy.